And now we start. Okay. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
Oh man.
So what is today, guys?
God damn it, Kenny.
November.
We're recording.
Yeah, November 12th.
2000.
So for everybody listening, this might come out on a Thursday or a Monday. We're still debating.
Hopefully Thursday.
Hopefully Thursday.
I'm pushing for Thursday.
Looking at you, Aaron.
Talking to yourself.
That's me.
We're going to the second episode.
Are you giving yourself reminders for later?
Yes. So when I listen to it late at night tonight, I'm like, oh, damn, it's coming out Thursday. Okay. All right. So,
Okay, I'm done. I'm doing it. Hey. Welcome.
We're past that, James. We already said hey.
Welcome
I
to
already
Martini
did a
Shot.
clean. I did a clean intro that you can use on every episode.
My name is James Fight.
He's the sponsor, right?
My name is James Fight. To my right is
The chief archivist of Flat Films.
That's correct.
Kenny Madison.
That's good. And across from me is
This kind of smells like beer. This thing, and I can't stop. My name is Aaron Salinas.
What do you do?
I'm the editor and photographer for Flat Films.
You're one of the editors.
And James.
Do you want to edit more stuff?
James's buddy.
Yeah, you're my friend.
Yeah, see.
You want to edit more stuff?
Damn it! I was hoping we could get around that. But yeah, I can update.
You don't have to. You can say
I'm
no.
more than welcome to. I'd be happy to.
See, now it just feels like an
No, I really
obligation.
want to. Yeah, I'm trying to edit more stuff, get things out there.
And across from me is
I was across from you.
Yeah, I'm
diagonal from me.
Catty corner.
Catty corner to me.
Catty. I thought it was kitty corner.
I think it's one of those colloquialisms.
Is it catty corner?
It's catty corner.
I'm gonna start saying that. That sounds better.
Kenny,
My
what
name
is
is
it?
Kenny.
That's what you were mistaken with.
Yeah, the
Kenny
corner.
cornered to me.
Is Jerod Robert Espinosa Sechko, host of the Comedy Petting Podcast. Flat
Where can they
Films
find that?
official, Trapped in a Cage, and sometimes writer of Flat Films scripts now.
Yeah. Once we start recording those.
Yeah, I'll plug it before it happens.
And I'll
Thanks.
edit those.
Thanks.
Coming in hot.
You can find my stuff where you probably can find this stuff on Podbean and iTunes.
Dope.
If you think I'm funny, tell me. If you think I'm not, tell me harder.
Jared, I
Wow,
love you.
that's really what comedians do. Hello.
Oh God!
Oh, God, Kenny.
I broke the table. That's
Dude,
me.
I'm not gonna lie.
sorry.
That was a fat guy thing to do. I've done that plenty of times. I'm just saying. So do not feel bad.
Well, too bad. So this is gonna be the episode of intros. We're holding for table. We're holding on
holding
the table now.
not holding for table.
Okay, so big news happened today.
Lots of big news.
Lots of big news. The biggest one. Let's start off sad. Stan Lee died.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Pikachu.
No, that's happy.
Why would that be sad?
I don't
Pikachu
know.
died today.
Rest in
I
peace,
mean,
Pikachu.
you're not wrong.
Well,
But anyways, yes, Stan Lee passed away.
yeah, he was 95.
God rest his soul. That was what a champ. I meant to say chum.
What a chum!
What a
he
chump.
He just made.
Only 95. No, what a chum. He honestly, responsible for a lot of.
the entire Marvel universe.
Hey.
Well, 90%. Come on.
Yeah,
No,
you're right.
Jack Kirby.
95%.
We are forgetting a
Jack
lot.
Kirby, Steve Ditko.
We're forgetting a lot of stuff, but yeah,
He
without
was
a doubt,
the main one.
He was the face of Marvel.
he was the
Yeah.
face. I wouldn't say the main, but he was the face for sure.
Everyone's forgetting Todd McFarlane.
I don't understand the reference.
I'm pretty sure I don't watch Family Guy anymore.
That's Seth MacFarlane.
On the same
got it.
page. So on the same page.
Uh,
But yes, McFarlane too.
Todd McFarlane.
I don't. What are you saying?
If you say it more, it doesn't help.
Why are you looking at me, Kenny? I don't.
Todd McFarlane.
All right.
Okay, so Stanley died. He's passed. Excelsior to him. It was pretty sad. It was abrupt. This happened like 3 hours ago to me in this timeline.
Oh, I
In
saw.
this timeline, thank you for the heads up on timelines. But yeah, it's a bummer. He's
He seemed like a cool guy. I watched the show, the superhero show he had, where he.
James,
had
you're gonna have to be
people-
so much more
Hold
specific
on.
than that.
Wait, you guys don't remember this? It was in like
Where he made
2000.
heroes,
I don't
right?
remember
No,
which
well, kinda.
superhero it was. They were just running around. They were saving New
No,
York
no,
or
no,
something
no, no,
like
no.
that.
It wasn't like an actual superhero. It was like people cosplaying to make their own
Yes.
superheroes.
okay.
And he chose them. It was like a reality show. And he was like, oh, I'm going to choose the next hero.
And he had to go on
Excelsior.
missions.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Biggest Loser
But for
or a
superheroes.
survivor for superheroes.
Yeah.
Can we slow down and talk about James's Stan Lee impression just for a week?
Excelsior.
No, that's not what you did.
What I do?
It was a light Stan Lee.
Excelsior.
You want to be a superhero?
You want to
Excelsior.
It was like a Stan Lee tab version if it was a soda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. He's doctor now.
This is how we choose to remember Stanley.
Rest in peace.
And I think it's important to say that you can mourn in whatever way you want,
Yes.
unless it's like stabbing babies. Don't stab babies.
Well,
Well, you already said the first thing. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes you look bad.
it's just important
damn.
to set a tone of confidence, James. A tone of confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.
You're not digging
Pull
yourself
up.
out of that
You gotta
one.
pull up.
Excelsior.
No, did you really? You're literally pulling up. You started looking up.
You leaned back. But
I hope the audience felt that.
R.I.P. Stanley. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the memories, man. Thanks for 90% of my childhood that I didn't realize, and then like the 5% that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for making cameos cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's-
wow.
I see when that first started happening, I was like, what are they gonna do when he dies? And now we have to face that reality.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they got everything done already.
Yeah, it's
For
got a couple
All of
the
Marvel.
Not the future. Up to I think Captain Marvel.
Man, that'll be
Oh man, do you
awkward.
think?
Wait,
They think they're gonna digitize him into Captain Marvel?
No way.
why not?
I mean, they made Tupac a hologram. They'll do anything.
And Selena too.
And they made
You're positing
that guy
these
smaller.
Fantastic Four.
Sure.
You're positing all
mean-
of these things like these are positives.
I'm not
No,
saying they are. No,
Hey,
I'm
they
saying,
could do it. Tupac's a hologram.
I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying they did it, regardless of whether or not there's a more.
Yeah, because I mean they did it with what was it? Fate of the Eight, the one with
Hateful Eight?
No, they did with Furious 7.
Fury.
Furious
There we go.
7.
There you go.
But that was different because Paul Walker died in
Mid-shoot,
mid-production.
Yeah.
Stan Lee's cameos can always be excised.
No.
Well, they're pretty important to the plot.
There is never one Stan Lee cameo which has been critical to plot function.
I guarantee you, had Stan Lee not been in the past Avengers movie, Thanos would not have gotten away with
It's
it.
that
true.
doesn't make sense.
I still think Stanley is the key to Avengers
I'm
4.
peeking.
Oh my God, Kenny, Jesus! Don't stop!
I'm
Oh
not
my
gonna lie,
God!
that's gonna be in the intro music because I heard it in the first episode. That's going in the intro.
I'm picking.
God.
I'm ready, man.
Hold on,
I
I'm gonna get a
hate
clean
this.
take.
Oh my God!
I don't envy you your job, Aaron. But I do.
I hate it more and more as this
Yeah,
episode
James,
goes
why
on.
are you frustrated? You're not the one that's going to be.
Because
You
I
have the
feel bad
least
for
amount of work to
Aaron.
do.
Because I feel bad for Aaron. It's called empathy.
All of y'all are spiking. All of y'all were spiking.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
well, I'll be back here then. This is me now.
Aaron. You told us to get closer to the mic.
Well, yeah, I didn't say get louder with it.
Yeah, you. Right.
That's
But yeah, so
Aaron is absolutely
Oh my
right.
God!
you agree?
So Stan Lee passed. What else is new?
Detective Pikachu.
My
Trailer.
favorite.
It looks legitimately good. I will say,
Kenny is shaking his head avidly no.
no, I love it, Kenny. Shut up.
I think
I've literally said nothing
Shut up,
You just
Kenny.
look shocked
Shut
and
up.
annoyed. I don't know. I'm just reading
because
into
I'm
that.
shocked and
Okay.
annoyed by Detective Pikachu.
But
okay,
it's
you get
Ryan
three
Reynolds.
words. You get 3 words to criticize or gloat it. Around the table, starting with you, James. Go.
Ryan Reynolds. Hot.
Okay, I'll accept it. Cute and wondrous.
Do hyphenated words count as
Sure,
one
I'll
word?
count one.
Buddy Cop, Reynolds, Pokemon.
Kenny.
Atonal Blade Runner.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah,
No,
that's fair.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
absolutely fair.
Yeah, from the trailer, I get that.
Yeah. No. Okay.
It
yeah.
looked like it too. Like, yeah, it was delightful. Yeah,
But it's Pokemon.
yeah, and
it's
that's what
Pokemon.
really.
They're really just seeping it. It's just the world of Pokemon. I wasn't ready for them just to blatantly,
Yeah, it's the world of Pokemon, but like darker than the TV show.
but mildly.
But
I'll
it's,
take it.
to me, it's more interactive than the ones we had growing up.
Oh yeah.
So it's like perfect for this generation,
Oh, absolutely.
and I'm kind of okay with it. It really looked like a fanfic for that was like deep in someone's closet.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
someone tried to make this in high school, and then someone had a producer who saw that and picked it up, and they rewrote.
So we're apologizing to that kid who got their fanfic stolen,
Yeah.
because that's clearly what this is.
How
But-
many people on DeviantArt do you think are going to be mad that this movie got made and not theirs?
14.
14. Yeah, I can see it. I can see
Which
it.
14?
All of them.
Dan Kashima,
1,
1,
Sarah.
2.
2.
What's up next?
Toy Story 4.
Cute.
Wondrous.
Cash grab.
Atonal Blade Runner.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I can see it. It was a fun teaser trailer, though.
I think it was a perfect teaser trailer because it was just like, it was kind of long for what it was.
Yeah.
And then like as it was going on, I was just like, oh wait, where's Buzz? There's Buzz.
Yeah.
And Jared's Jesse.
Yeah.
And then it kept going. I was like, oh, the aliens. And then who's
Yeah.
that guy?
I don't belong
Yeah,
here.
it was really cute.
Okay, yeah, that was comedic.
That's me again.
James, are you trying to flip the
I'm
table?
just so angry that Kenny doesn't like Detective Pikachu.
I'm surprised that they were able to actually translate the design of the Pokemon to something that was realistic.
I really thought you were going to say translate Pikachu. I was like, they get to interpret what he's saying.
It's shocking.
I know-
It's
I
funny
don't-
because he's an electric Pokemon.
There
There it is.
What?
I didn't spike that one. Okay.
Clean
Good
take.
job. Okay, Aaron's reaction, take 2, and action. Okay, go ahead, cut. Hey, Aaron.
Yes?
I'll need, just act more surprised, like 50% more surprised.
Hold on, let me get that makeup.
Oh, yeah, that's good,
Thanks,
that's good.
Kenny. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Here's your
Okay,
Diet
let's go
Martini,
again.
sir.
Let's go again. Let's go
Rolling.
again. And
Boop, boop, boop.
go and
Sound
slate.
speed. Mark.
Speed. Let's hear that clap. Action. Perfect. We got it. Moving on.
Can that.
We've all been on film sets.
When you
Yeah.
say we,
The collective we.
yeah, sure. The Unitarian we.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all the news I've got.
Kenny, any news for you?
We're not going to talk about the context of Toy Story 4. This is critical
What is
because
the
What's-
context
what's the
of
context?
Toy
it's
Story?
not just the fact. It's not just the fact that the Toy Story 4 teaser dropped. This is the first time that we've gotten an actual honest-to-God synopsis of Toy Story 4, which is completely contradictory to what we've gotten so far. The last time that we had gotten a plot synopsis was from whenever Rashida Jones was working on the script, and it was described as some sort of romantic comedy where Woody would be looking for Bo Peep. However,
Oh, I like that.
we got none of that, and instead we got a completely new character called Forky.
Oh, I didn't know he had a name
Wait,
yet.
is
Yeah,
he
I didn't
legit?
either.
Is he?
Yeah, this is yeah. The synopsis is they released the synopsis, which is whenever Bonnie, the toy's new owner, decides to add another toy called Forky by just putting the sport in with the collection of toys, and it becomes kind of an existential crisis of going, what counts as a toy?
I
Oh,
finally
oh
asked
my
you that
God.
question. I've been wanting this for so long.
Dude, that is like hitting the millennials where it hurts. Like, am I an
Yeah.
adult? Am I responsible? I don't like this because
Well, the tweet that went viral on film Twitter today was Toy Stories 1 through 3 embrace capitalism. All of your things are precious and hold on to them. Toy Story 4, all of your toys can be anything that you want.
Yeah, but that's true.
I bastardized that tweet. It's a much funnier tweet.
Well,
I thought you were
it's
going to
okay.
comment on the weird identity crisis of just this guy trying to identify as not only a sentient being, but just,
A toy?
yeah, or what its surroundings are identifying it as.
It doesn't make sense to do a Toy Story 4, much like it didn't make sense to do a Toy Story 2, because they kind of confronted life with Toy Story 3. They've hit the end of that
Yeah.
kind of story progression. Now there seems to be some sort of commentary that would actually necessitate why do we have to make a Toy Story 4? There's actually an interesting question, which
I kind of hope they address this idea of like why they want to be loved as toys, or why they're not doing an uprising, or why anything can talk in this universe. Is it just if you give it attention?
you don't like magic, do you?
I do like magic. I just
No.
want to know how it works.
Why? Why? It just does.
Not all magic. Sometimes you have soft magic and hard magic.
What?
There's Full Metal Alchemist and there's Harry Potter.
There's Toy Story. They just talk.
Which is which?
They just talk. The toys just talk. Why do we have to ask? They just talk.
Is soft magic Harry Potter and hard magic Full Metal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I was gonna say I really didn't think that. To me, it was pretty self-explanatory.
I just
Yeah, I'm glad you got it.
I
right.
wanted to double check.
Harry Potter's not hard magic.
No, it's
things
soft.
happen as they need to, and then certain spells do certain things.
Oh.
So hard magic just have.
There's the
Star-
rules, and
strong
that's how it
rules.
works.
All right.
This episode brought to you by Bean Boozled from Jelly Belly.
Get your jelly bamboozled at whatever Aaron said.
At,
Bean
yeah,
boozled.
Bean Boozled from Jelly Belly.
Guys, I'm gonna need a new fresh take on that. Can I
Get
think
your
about that?
beans. Get your beans here.
This episode brought to you by the pumpkin flavor from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wow. Oh, dude, that was legitimately good though.
Yeah, it really was good.
So we watched Shrek, and we got. I'm not talking about Shrek yet. Can you calm down?
I'm so ready.
We got Buffalo Wild Wings, and they have a new flavor called Pumpkin Ale Barbecue, and it was pretty good.
Are we plugging them? Because they were delicious.
They were good.
Yo, if we could get B-Dubs to sponsor us every time we have a marathon, we're
That'd be
pushing
great.
this.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not a
100%.
huge B-Dubs fan, but I will still do that.
Oh, I love B-Dubs. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Thank you for being my yes man.
We're all in agreement.
B-Dubs is great.
We are delighted and excited.
Yes.
B-Dubs, please sponsor our next marathon. It'll be soon. Okay, Kenny.
What's the marathon?
Did we just move on
don't
from
know.
like? Okay, fine.
We'll figure it out. Kenny, hit us with Shrek.
I thought we were just glossing over Toy Story. Okay, that's fine.
No, let's
It was
linger on
done.
Toy Story.
I kind of feel like we got to go to Toy Story next after this marathon.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
I'm in.
I have the box set of that.
Do you?
Yeah. It looks like Andy's toy
Oh,
chest. It's really
that's
cute.
cool. When does Toy Story 4 come out?
Summer 2019?
That would make sense.
I think that's the only thing they've released so far.
All right. Well.
Mhm.
Anyway,
No, jump to Shrek. It's your show, man. I
hit
just
us
wanna
with
know.
Shrek.
Yeah. You introduce us with Shrek.
We watched Shrek, and it was fantastic. I love Shrek. It's a great film.
Not only do you love Shrek, it's very rarely have I seen anyone get as. It was like Star Wars Episode 1 was opening, and you were just rewatching it, but you were just like, oh!
It was so good.
Ah!
It was so good.
If you want to know what watching Shrek with James is like, just watch Shrek for like every 20 or so minutes. Just have James be like, "It's so good, guys.
It's
It
so
is
good.
airtight.
It's
I'm
airtight."
telling you." Like, and that's all it was. I was like, "He's what?"
It's shocking how much you enjoy Shrek.
It's so good.
He has no complaints throughout the entire film.
No, it's so good.
Like, he had a genuine smile the entire time. Like, I thought he was being tickled, but no, he was just enjoying Shrek.
It's a good movie.
Well, let's contextualize rankings because I'm interested in putting numeric values on things immediately.
But you don't like hard magic rules?
Hey, I love hard magic.
Okay.
All right, I love magic hard.
Sure.
But something like Toy Story, where you're going, right? But why do they talk? That's just the rules. They just talk. Don't need to figure out why they talk. That's not interesting. That's Star Wars explaining why the Force works.
Which was bad. Don't
Yeah,
explain
don't
how
do
the
I get
for-
that it's not the story. I'm just saying it brings up the issue of like if this thing is a toy. Anyway, Shrek.
So let's
It's so good.
using the Kenny Madison patented ranking method.
1 through 5.
1 through 5. Jerod, are you familiar with the ranking?
I'm guessing 1 is bad, 2 is better than bad, 3 is normal, 4 is better than normal, and 5 is top dog.
Guys, he picks up quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about half?
And half star is something that is offensively bad.
Yeah.
Like a Rob Zombie Halloween or
Can I give
Tully or Gummo.
it 5.5?
Really don't like Tully.
I really don't like
What
Tully.
the hell is Tully?
It's a movie
movie
that's
that-
95% great.
But that last 5% really.
It
Just
makes it
brings
downhill.
it back. Yeah.
it torpedoes it.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm just taking my word from Kenny.
It's a real Shrek the Third, if you catch my drift.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, Shrek the Third isn't great.
uh,
But Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, am I right?
okay, so James, on the scale of 1 to 5, where it was the first Shrek,
Solid 4.
Solid. What?
Whoa.
That's
you said it's airtight.
What?
You said it was airtight.
Because Shrek 2 is a 5.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. No,
Are we going around the room?
Sure.
So just Shrek 1?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, on my preference scale, 2.
What?
But because of everything else, like with it all surrounding, like once we get into the drama with Disney and Eisen and all that, a 3.
Oh, I'm just comparing it to itself.
Oh, yeah. Just comparing it to itself.
Oh, to itself,
It's a 2.
a 3.
Oh.
I'll say 3. Just comparing it to itself, off the dome, 3.
And we're just, when you say compared to itself, you mean just the Shrek movies?
Yeah.
Okay, not against all film.
Correct.
Oh,
Well, look, put it against.
I say all film. Yeah, I think that's fair.
What does your heart tell you, Jared? It's certainly not going to be good to compare it to Citizen Kane.
Well, sure it is.
Well,
Okay, go on. Compare Shrek to Citizen Kane.
3.
Great. I'd put it at a 2.
What's wrong with you?
Well, it's within the canon, it's 4. And because Shrek 2 is a 5 in the canon, but Shrek 2 is just a good movie, so it should be a 3.5 against all film.
Guys, I'm going to jump to Shrek 2. That sequence where Fairy Godmother is singing and Shrek is racing on donkey
You look-
to save Fiona.
You like musicals, I get it.
Yeah, it's so
You
good.
like
It's so
chasings.
good. It's a good sequence. That's what inspired me to
James,
make film
Here,
when I was
let
little.
me hear your language back to you. It's a good sequence.
It's a good sequence.
It's a good sequence.
It's so
not
good.
a phenomenal sequence. It's not the top sequence. It's a good sequence.
It's so good.
That's why it's a 3.5 in my book.
It's so serviceable. Oh my gosh! It inspired me to make movies. It's perfectly adequate.
It made the final cut, you know? It's pretty. It was in the movie.
Someone forgot to hit backspace in Final Cut.
But seriously, check out that sequence.
I just did a spit take. Thank you. Oh my God.
I love Shrek.
So, okay, in the canon for me, it is a 5. It's the top.
yeah.
What is the Shrek canon?
Shrek 2. Yeah, in the Shrek canon.
Okay,
In the Shrek canon of well, what other canon will we? DreamWorks, you're
the
right.
film canon, and I guess the DreamWorks canon.
DreamWorks canon. It's right before Gladiator. Everything else.
I think that's too big. I think you went too big.
Everything else.
It's
Which,
Gladiator, then everything else is a distant.
Fun fact: Gladiator was DreamWorks. It took me a hard while to swallow that pill.
It did take you a hard pill to swallow that.
Yeah.
Just like hard magic.
Yeah.
But yes, for me, it is a.
Uh-huh.
Just looking what the time is.
I've got it. I've got it on some I watch. We're good.
It's a 5 in the canon. Across film, 4. Top 20. Oh, I don't know. Top
Please, let's add more filters.
top 30
Sure.
for animation. That's another layer we can add there. And you said 3.5?
3.5 against all film. I
Okay.
mean, like if you're gonna watch Old Boy and then Shrek, Old Boy's just the better film.
I'm gonna watch Raging Bull and then go straight into
For subverting the genre of animation and fantasy and just making fun of every trope that any animations put out for the 70 years or 90 years that preceded it. It's just a really great film. And then Shrek 2 just doubles down on that, and I enjoy it for that. It knows what it is. It knows what it wants.
Yeah.
Especially for what a mess it was behind the scenes to end up like just that well.
Watch Shrek. It's so good.
Who hasn't at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was so pervasive in 2001 whenever it came out. It was so it was so widespread.
So where do you put Shrek 2? Because I think we're all in agreement that Shrek 2 is the best. One of the better ones.
I like Shrek Forever After the most, which I'm shocked
Which
by.
surprises me.
I'm surprised too. I didn't want to. That's just where my heart went.
Real quick, have you seen Shrek 4 previously?
No.
Had you seen Shrek 2 previously?
Yes, once.
Do you think that had a little bit of hindrance on it?
It's a possibility. I thought that Shrek 2 was much better than the first one. Yeah, that's it.
So is it on the scale somewhere?
What?
Is it on the scale?
What?
Shrek 2?
The Kenny scale.
Of course. What? Yes.
Then
If
where
I-
is it?
If I see a movie, it's got to be on the scale, Aaron.
You fool.
I think I ranked it a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Amongst all film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay,
I think that's very fair.
that's fair.
Fine.
That's Shrek 2 or Shrek 4?
I feel by the end of this, James is just going to be pouting in the corner, just giving up on commentary.
That it gave you an emotional connection is amazing. I have that with Dumb and Dumber, but I have to reconcile the fact that there are better movies than Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
At least you can, okay. And I think that's really hard for the films that you really love to say, hey, I get it. It's not good.
I get that the only parts of that movie are good, and most of that's just old, weird comedy. But I liked Jim Carrey as a 5-year-old, and I still kind of do.
Shrek is amazing. Shrek is God.
That's great.
Shrek is love.
Shrek is
Yeah. I'm just saying. It's a good thing to watch.
God, it's like we're trying not to get to Shrek 3.
It wasn't good.
Well, let's talk about one of the most enjoying things that I had with it was digging into all of the history with Shrek because it's so fascinating, and I've made people research things because the story about Shrek is so fascinating.
Well, you say you made people research, but you really just did the research.
I did.
But you offered things. You offered
Yeah,
us
that's
videos,
true.
which were very helpful, I think.
Hey,
Yeah.
you
No,
guys are
100%.
welcome.
I
Yeah.
didn't receive any of these. Just full disclaimer.
Well, that's all right.
Sure.
You watched Shrek with us, so
I'm just willing. I'm happy to learn. I'm happy to hear it right now on the spot.
yeah.
So you're the audience perspective in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny laid on him.
Yes. So Shrek is based off the children's book Shrek by William Steig, which was purchased by John H. Williams, who was an executive at DreamWorks. Brought this to Jeffrey Katzenberg, who had recently jumped ship and formed DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg and David Geffen. Jeffrey Katzenberg was kind of in charge of the Disney Renaissance, starting with the Little Mermaid is whenever it took off. I think he came on with The Great Mouse Detective, if I'm not mistaken. So Katzenberg was in line to be promoted to second in command at Disney under the regime of Michael Eisner. And Michael Eisner was poised to put Jeffrey Katzenberg as his number 2 man. Katzenberg and Eisner had been working together for 20-ish years at that point.
Star Trek, right, was their first
Yeah.
endeavor.
Yeah.
TNG or TOG?
The motion picture.
Oh, okay.
Back in 78, 79, I believe Michael Eisner and Katzenberg switched spots. Eisner went to go work on Airplane, and Katzenberg oversaw the rest of the post-production
Oh shit.
on Star Trek The Motion Picture. Their history goes way back, and that was at Paramount. Then they went to Disney as well. Katzenberg revitalized the Disney animation because at that point it was way in the toilet. And Eisner oversaw the whole thing and kind of revitalized the brand for better and for worse.
Disney or DreamWorks?
Disney.
Okay.
So Katzenberg is posited to be the number 2 at Disney.
Which is rightfully so at
yeah,
this point.
Keep the hands up. Hand puppets help me.
Number 2 at Disney. And Eisner picks someone else. Katzenberg takes that personally, which
As he
makes-
should.
Yeah.
As he
Yeah.
should. He helped revitalize Disney. So he jumps ship and co-creates DreamWorks with David Geffen, who's in charge of the music, and Spielberg, who is in charge of I guess with Katzenberg is in charge of the film slate.
And real quick, just for context, just to give people like how big this guy had an impact, he went from Lion King down the stretch to, Little Mermaid down the stretch to Lion King.
Oh shit.
So like,
you
yeah,
kind of popped it back.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast,
Ooh.
Aladdin,
Oh wow.
Aladdin. That's
Lion King.
Yeah,
Okay. Those
And-
are some hits, man.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
It completely turned it around. Beauty and the Beast got nominated for Best Picture, which up until that point, I don't
It's-
think any animated film had ever been nominated for Best Picture. I think the only other one to this point has been WALL-E.
Still my favorite. Beauty and the
Maybe
Beast out of
up.
that canon.
I don't remember. So,
Yeah.
anyways, in '94, John H. Williams brings the book Shrek to Katzenberg. Katzenberg likes this. Either Katzenberg or Spielberg, one of those two. And says, hey, let's get this in development. They were recording by 97 where they had locked cast of Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, and Chris Farley. Which everyone probably knows that Chris Farley was the original Shrek. They recorded a lot of it, and then he passed away. So
Yep.
then Mike Myers was brought in. They recorded the whole movie once, and then Mike Myers went, I would like to do this again. in a Scottish accent.
And spent
Really?
a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Wow.
He at the end of everything was like, actually, you know what? I have a better choice for this movie.
I didn't realize that.
You know
Yeah.
what they usually ask actors to do beforehand? Make a bold choice.
Well,
Well, to be fair,
Mike went through the
he was,
whole thing.
He was filling in for his dead friend, so I think
That's
that
true.
first performance may have been grief stricken.
Yeah, because
Probably.
Chris Farley did it with an American accent, a traditional
Yeah.
Chris Farley
Yeah.
accent. So I could see where Mike was like, well, I don't want to step on toes with creative
yeah.
output, but
There are varying accounts. Some people say that they had to re-record the entire thing. Some people say, hey, we just had to try it again after one of these other takes.
it was a few million to do all this, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like 3 point something million, I think.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And Mike Myers is notoriously difficult to work with. He's very moody.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. So they do that.
Just imagining Love Guru. I don't know what.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
Well, oh, that would be an
S-
interesting one to talk about because that's a huge blank check movie for Mike Myers. He had just come off the Austin Powers movies.
yeah,
Secret Shame. I like The Love Guru. I think there's a lot wrong with it, but it's structurally fun.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it,
It's just,
and I don't want to.
but one of his more interesting looking characters. That's why I just like the way he looks.
Yeah.
Who did Master of Disguise? Was
Dana
it
Carvey.
Yep.
Dana Carvey? Okay, that's
and
what I thought. Okay, thank
I like that as a 7-year-old.
you. I didn't.
My parents hated it, and then I find out why when I saw it as an adult. It's like, oh, this is just catered to like a kid.
Oh,
Did you
I
just
saw it as a
apologize
kid.
profusely.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
I
Mom.
saw it as a kid, and I was like, "This is dumb." I'm
I-
gonna watch Shrek.
That movie's like less than an hour.
Yeah, it is.
It should have
Wow.
just gone to a TV.
And as a 7-year-old, you appreciated that.
I did.
It keeps your attention as a
Yeah.
youngin.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I watch a lot of movies even as a kid, so I was
Oh.
very surprised when we walked out and they told me what time it was. And I was like, what the hell? This was my afternoon.
Oh no.
Oh.
Uh,
Anyway, continue with Shrek.
Well, Shrek got released in 2001, was a huge hit, which was excellent for DreamWorks. DreamWorks was, I think, had only been releasing movies for 6 years at that point. Still a really fresh new studio.
And still trying to figure out the direction, right? They were still trying to do music and yeah, trying to.
Very much so. Katzenberg had kind of directed the studio to where things were in response to other pieces or things that he had originally pitched to Disney but then brought them over. The first DreamWorks animation was Ants, which was in response to A Bug's Life.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
oh, yeah.
I believe Road to El Dorado was after that, which
That
was
was DreamWorks?
it was
Yeah.
DreamWorks, and it,
Surprisingly good movie.
Emperor's New Groove.
I enjoy it.
and
yeah.
not only was it was brought over from Disney. Elton John and Tim Rice did the music and lyrics for that, which they're the people
Oh
that are
my
behind
goodness.
behind Lion King. Spirited Stallion of the Cimarron, I believe,
Nice.
was either before or after Shrek.
So DreamWorks had a pretty good track record so far before Shrek with just like 2D animation.
I think up to that point too, it was even as kids, it was like, oh, that's not Disney. It's one of those knockoff movies.
It was
like
like,
Yeah.
Ants. Like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not Disney. Like we
Oh,
all
yeah,
knew.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Oh, we knew.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we
easily.
knew.
A Bug's Life was funny. Ants was like this man's struggle to survive.
Well, it's
It was
been
the
a-
grapes of wrath to Beverly Hills, Chihuahua.
Yeah.
but the DreamWorks approach. Remember, Ants. The two main characters are Woody Allen and Sylvester Stallone, which is
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's Disney's or not Disney. Good lord,
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks setting themselves up as take us seriously. Look at the talent that we've got,
It's true.
and that approach carries over through. I just found out today that Road to El Dorado had Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh as their two leads. That's insane.
damn.
That's ludicrous.
Honestly, a very underrated film too.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I
it
thought
is,
I
yeah.
really liked that movie.
That's a good movie.
Solid animation, just two wild characters going on a buddy film that end up in a magical realm with way too much power. It's just
Yeah.
fish out of
Just-
water.
Cool story and
Yeah.
like cool weird animation that like was kind of scary. The Jaguar thing was kind of
Oh,
scary.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
not ready
Definitely.
for that magic to be real, to be
Yeah.
honest. I was
That's
like,
that's some hard magic.
But barring Ants, the other DreamWorks animations kind of fit themselves into the Disney mold, even though it was still responsive. Ants was a little bit postmodern because you've got Woody Allen as the lead character of your animated kids movie, and then Shrek kind of codifies this Generation X postmodern type of things where you're going, fairy tales are dumb and stupid, we're cool, which completely
Yeah.
changes animation up. to that point.
Why are you talking
What?
so
Yeah,
slowly?
are you noticing that we're looking at you? Is that
Because we've been doing it this whole time. Just
No, I
saying.
understand. I want you guys to respond. I want you guys to talk with me.
No, yeah,
Well,
But
There's
you
a lot of
had the floor.
information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
had-
got the
had
what?
floor.
No, it's a conversation.
it's a
well, yeah,
table.
but you have to make your point before we can respond to it.
Case in point, Shrek was a game changer not for DreamWorks, but for animation in general, and suddenly put Disney on the defensive.
And storytelling.
yeah,
Like it gave kids a sense of humor.
Oh yeah, my little brother quoted Shrek for probably the next 6 years, and
Yeah.
like that's how he told jokes.
I still do. To
It's
this
a-
day, I still quote. Like,
it's a
and I'm not a
good movie.
huge fan, but I still quote. Like, I think what's fair to say is that Shrek, just Shrek, the film, was a meme before memes existed.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like
to be fair, most movies were though.
true.
That's what we did before memes.
But even to this point, like Shrek is still memes.
Shrek is
so
the meme.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, but they're in the world of their own context. I think they're kind of the same.
That's fair. I guess I'm just saying I get your point, but also things happen beforehand. But I think what you're saying is it's easy to emotionally connect to what's
Yeah.
going on and enjoy it forever.
I mean, I wouldn't say forever. I'm not.
Oh, no, forever.
I'm
I'm
not
going to
cool.
enjoy Shrek when I'm 95.
I mean, I'm not committed. I mean, for now, I will still bring it up, but
That's fair. Okay, fine. What's your favorite Shrek line?
that'll do, donkey. And that's stealing from another film.
Yes, stealing
Yeah.
from Babe. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Listen, it's a good line.
Look, most
You don't have to sell me
animations-
on it.
Most animated comedies are pretty much just parodies of other films strung together with their loose storyline. And
now
oh, you think Shrek made that happen?
it wasn't just Shrek. I think it started the most whenever they cast Robin Williams in Aladdin, and suddenly he was bringing in his usual Robin Williams
That's fair.
Yeah.
ness,
Yeah.
and that movie just kind of exploded. Lion King was a little bit more sentimental.
Well, it's also Hamlet.
Yeah. But then starting with Hunchback and then Hercules, you have someone that is firmly outside of the movie that's kind of commenting on the movie, but not bothering to make it part of the actual text until Shrek, where that kind of 1 foot outedness is like you have the second lead kind of out of that. The entire structure of the movie is a subversion of fairy tales. So it kind of took the thing that, well, I guess Jeffrey Katzenberg kind of sort of partially started with Aladdin, which is also interesting because the writers of Shrek also wrote Aladdin. Well, 2 of the writers of Shrek also wrote Aladdin, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, and then Katzenberg stole them for Road to El Dorado and Shrek, and then they eventually went back to Disney to write a whole bunch of stuff, mainly the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Ooh. You don't like them? They're big. They're the first PG-13 Disney film.
No, I like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it is a downward spiral.
I mean, now, yeah.
No, it just was.
Nah, the first one was good.
Yeah, I'm saying a downward spiral. You start at the top, then you start rolling.
Nah, the second one was...
You peak really hard, and then you slowly just keep going
I
down.
think
right, yeah, you're
I think
fair.
the second one are kind of level.
The second one's nice.
It's all right, but after that, I agree. It
Yeah.
it bottomed.
They
It-
peak, plateau, and then they just keep going down,
Yeah.
which sucks because they keep pulling in really cool talent.
My cousin's best friend was in the 5th one. He was young Captain Jack Sparrow.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. What's his name?
Anthony Delatorre.
Anthony Delatorre. I didn't see your performance, but I heard you did well.
I mean, nothing against him, but he only had like 10... It was like 30 seconds on screen.
That's more.
Well,
And I've gotten.
That's 35 seconds more than I've gotten.
I think they also put Johnny Depp's face over him.
No, no, it was the voice.
No, they definitely because I saw the movie in theaters.
Did they really do
It's
a
just no.
CGI?
It's just
They DH'd
no,
Johnny Depp and they put Johnny Depp's DH'd face
no,
on it.
they didn't.
I
believe
saw
you
the
can-
movie.
I saw the
Jeez.
movie,
So
and
it
it was his face.
We're peeking. So it was.
Aaron
so
called
it was
we're
just his
peeking.
body.
No,
Yeah, it was
his
definitely
face.
just his body.
Still gonna say 35 more seconds of
Don't-
his body than I'll ever
Don't
get.
listen to James and his first-hand source. Listen to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything. Anyway, back to
Yeah, so
Shrek.
I'm curious. So, like, all these setups, all these things that Shrek has catalyzed and changed. Can you give me, or at least since I'm the audience representation today, a thing that Shrek did that people have been copying afterward that you can just name in a movie.
Oh yeah, it made the kind of Gen X foot out in our actual reality and commenting on things the cool thing to do. Let's not take things too seriously. Let's comment on things. Let's not have a tremendous amount of emotional attachment.
So it taught us how to detach.
A little bit.
So you're saying Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is Shrek's fault?
Yes.
It's entirely possible because
Too soon, man. Stan Lee just passed. Too soon.
Hey, man.
Come on, Jerod.
Excelsior's forever.
Infinity and beyond.
but
Different canon.
I mean, thanks to Shrek, and Shrek was such a runaway success. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you crying?
I'm fine.
He's getting emotional
Hey,
because
it's okay.
Stan
man.
Lee passed today.
I
Will do
made
donkey. It's such a good line.
Oh my god,
it's so good.
it's so adequate.
It's so good.
It's serviceable.
It's so okay. Just
That's what I want.
It reminds me of Babe.
another juggernaut.
I clipped.
You don't say.
But Shrek was such a juggernaut. The entire franchise is such a juggernaut. The franchise has grossed $3.5 billion.
Oh my god.
That's with number 3 tanking pretty hard.
Not
Well,
not even.
In our hearts.
Critically,
yeah.
it tanked. Compared to Shrek 2, it definitely did worse. But also, Shrek 2 is the highest grossing film
All,
2005.
All 2005.
2004.
Ah, so close.
2000. Oh, I don't know if that's a 3. No, that would have to be. Yeah, that would
It's
have
4.
to be 3 or 4. One of those things. Either way, Shrek 2 is the highest grossing thing of that year. Disney's complete strategy shifted after that to where they were, like I said, Disney was put on the defensive and they had to beat DreamWorks. So Disney starts getting self-referential. I think the big start of that was Enchanted.
Oh yeah, that's 90 years of Disney history to
Yeah.
make fun of.
And then if their recent animation output, starting with Frozen,
Tangled.
and Tangled, Frozen, is kind of a postmodern examination on fairy tales.
I kind of want to say Brave and Moana too,
Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
Moana.
Yeah.
Definitely Moana.
because Moana didn't have she didn't need a male love interest.
That's
She-
right.
She just it was for her love for her people and her country.
Well, not only that,
Yeah.
but the villain, like all around, just was Maui's arrogance. Like,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't like the big bad thing. It was like her willing to love someone through that and understand what they were deep down.
Right.
It wasn't kill the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
Sometimes you don't have to fight. You just have to understand.
Sometimes people are more than what they seem.
Yeah.
Shrek. 2001.
People are like onions.
They have layers.
But in all honesty, the parfait line too. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a good one too.
You know, people like parfait.
Eddie Murphy, man. In all honesty, he doesn't get a lot of credit for that movie. I feel like.
I feel like he gets a lot of credit for that.
I mean, because to me, I still like when I think of Eddie Murphy. I think of his stand-up special, Raw. That's my first go-to, and then after that, Coming to America.
Okay, that's fair.
I would argue most of our. I'm gonna say our. I'm guessing you're around my age.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
I'm 24.
24.
Oh,
Okay,
close enough.
fine. Me and James. A point to me
Hello.
and James. Most of our reference for Eddie Murphy begins with Shrek.
Really?
My dad does not like that because he's like, James, there's so much more to Eddie Murphy than just Shrek. I'm like, nah, he's Donkey.
Oh,
He's
But
like-
Coming to America is so like.
Oh no, I know.
yeah. It's
Was
a movie.
that your first remembrance of Eddie Murphy?
Donkey? Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
For me, it's
No.
Coming to America.
I know
you
that.
had better parents.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just-
Aaron, that makes sense. That's the right choice. But I still think of Shrek.
But no, that just answers. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Kenny?
the commercials for Beverly Hills Cop 3
That's fair.
because I had a whole bunch of Star Trek tapes, and I think there were commercials for Beverly Hills Cop 3 on there.
I had a lot of Power Rangers tapes.
Same. I cried when my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, back in the day with the VCR,
Oh,
It-
don't
it
tell me.
dropped,
No.
and
No.
and the little white spinny thingy shattered.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it did it, but I just dropped it. And my dad said, I just looked up and like my whole world was crumbled. Like he was like, I thought I told you Santa was dead or something. It just hit you really hard. But yeah, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I had 2 Power Ranger tapes, and I lost one of them. I don't know what happened to it, but it was the one where like it was like season 3 when they like went into like the back in the Western time when Tommy had to like be a cowboy, and then like when they got like their ninja armor and their shiny armor, and there was a jetpack episode, and then there was one episode where
Kenny's
Bulk and
just nodding
Skull
profusely.
like found out who the Power Rangers were.
Listen, I'm willing to admit that I'm probably the only person here that didn't attach himself to Power Rangers like that.
I love Power Rangers.
I love Power Rangers.
I was always hopeful for a fat one, and there never was. It was always the doofusy. What was his name?
Bulk.
Yeah,
Bulk.
that's
Yeah.
Bulk.
It just
You don't get a lot of fat superheroes, to be honest. Even
Nacho Libre is the closest we're gonna come.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
well, Shrek.
Yeah. Game changer. Although his whole point is that ogres can't do anything, but also he's kind of worth love. Like that's his whole thing.
Yeah, like,
Inherently, yeah, no, you shouldn't like him. That's his whole thing, always.
but you can't help but root for him,
Yeah.
like every fat guy.
Like every fat
And
guy I
that
know.
is love.
Shrek is love.
And
Shrek
that
is
feels
love.
like a nice ending.
Martini shot.
Episode
love.
2. Yeah, that's right. We spread love through our words and each other. That was a good clap, y'all. I didn't
was.
do it. I didn't participate, but good being connected. That's good. Kenny, I'm sure you have more notes on Shrek.
Yes. So
Well-
going into the second part of it, I think that
Well,
Katzenberg was trying to equate Disney to fascism, and here's a couple things that were examples
so
of why
we
Disney is
will
fascist.
get to that on episode 3.
Starting with the fact that
Stop
the,
talking,
the
Kenny.
small world
Stop ta-
analog.
Stop talking.
Small world analog.
So we will
Somebody.
copyright. We will be back for
The
episode
small
3.
world analog
Oh God, I hate you, Kenny.
happened. There were lots of things, but it was equitable to small world.
Aaron, you can end it here.
Yeah.
Jared, you're doing good.
Please subscribe to Flat Films on YouTube and follow us on Twitter, and tell your friends about us on iTunes.
And once we get approved by iTunes, rate, comment, review.
Oh, and shameless plug, Comedy Pending. Was I funny? Just tell me.
Yeah, go
I
go
can
to
take
Comedy
it.
Petting.
He's wearing a shirt, so he's serious.
I'm that guy who wears his own band shirt.
I mean, that'll be us
We're
soon.
on podcast. That's 2018 in a nutshell. Band shirts are out. Podcast shirts are in.
We'll see you next time.
Farquaad was equitable to Michael Eisner.
Everybody likes Pawface.
And say your